Because it's been a minute. Wendy Jones is on with us today from Next Steps for Seniors. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem, my pleasure. We have a little technical difficulties. Yeah, look at that picture. So Wendy and I go way back to when we were doing a radio show together. She still does it. I was co-hosting with her for a year or so. And it was great, just bringing incredible information to people as we were working together with similar, senior communities. It had great feedback, and I love doing it with you, Wendy, and I'm kind of sad I'm still not doing it with you.
It was fun, Mike, and you're a great co-host, I gotta tell you. We had good times.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I don't know if I mentioned we've got some technical difficulties going on. So we got her on audio, we got her on video. She might get a little choppy, but that's no big deal. We're gonna roll with it. Everyone's using all the bandwidth because they're working from home these days.
Right.
Pat, what are we talking about today?
Oh, we're talking about all kinds of things. But before we dig into the particulars, let's just start out with the basics. Who is Wendy Jones? Wendy, who are you? And what is Next Steps for Seniors?
She's on TV, she's on radio, you see her everywhere. Tell us about Wendy Jones.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, so I'm a business owner, small business, Next Steps for Seniors, and I also have a foundation called Next Steps for Seniors Foundation, and both of them truly are designed to help seniors. Next Steps for Seniors, the business, my office is located in Rochester, and we cover Southeast Michigan, and the foundation is for low-income people. So our goal is to help people out of the hospital and into somewhere safe, like an assisted living community. So we love working with families, we lock arms, and we walk alongside them through a very difficult process, which right now, as you know, is even more difficult.
Yeah, I love hearing that, the whole lock arms thing, because it's typically a very emotional time, at least in our experience, when all of a sudden something happens where someone's independence is being lost. They've realized, or the family has realized, that they can no longer live at home. And it's almost like everyone's in denial that it's happening, and they really need someone to lock arms or hold hands with them through that process and just get educated about options and everything involved with that.
Yeah, what's nice is I have a team that is amazing, and they work very closely with the families. And it's nice to have a person that has time to sit and have a conversation with you. A lot of times our social workers in the hospitals are very busy and stressed trying to work with hundreds of patients. So it's nice for us to come in and be able to have, a half hour, an hour and a half, whatever it takes to work with people.
Yeah, that is good. That is good, because that's really what's needed. This isn't like, I don't know, what's a commodity we buy? It's just quick decisions and on to the next thing. This is something that it takes a lot to process. There's a lot of information. People want to know choices. People don't know much about it going into it. So it's just great to have that experience where someone will take that time with you to learn about options. So we appreciate you for that.
Thank you. I'm glad that we're here. And our team, like I said, my team works very hard with families. I had a lady that called this morning whose father has COVID positive. He's on a feeding tube through the nose and a catheter, and she's looking for a place. Talk about a challenge. But we were able to actually locate a place, and he's going to be discharged tomorrow. So these are the things that our team is able to do, which is just remarkable and truly almost a miracle at this point.
Great. Yeah, and I'm.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question about kind of how the whole COVID-19 thing has impacted your business in terms of finding places for people to go, whether or not they're positive, the risks associated with that, all of that.
The need hasn't gone anywhere, and it's not like people can really sit on it if it's something that's an emergent type thing. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world right now.
So believe it or not, we have some communities that are taking COVID positive patients, And we've been able to, every day, as you know, things change every minute practically right now. But we've got a database of communities that we call on a regular basis, and we're really working hard with the communities to find the right places. So we've been blessed. I would say about 30% of the communities are still open, taking COVID patients. And many of them are closed. I will say some communities closed their doors as soon as it all happened, and they've been able to keep all of their residents safe inside, and they haven't taken any new residents. But other places have been able to help us, which is nice, move patients into a safe place even during this time. So one of the biggest differences is we do everything remotely now, obviously. So my placement specialists are all in their homes, and they're on the phone, they're on Skype, they're doing what we're doing right now. And it's working out great. The families still feel connected, and we're able to go on tours through FaceTime.
Oh, that's great.
As crazy as it is, it's working.
I could imagine that the relationships that you have played a huge role in the success of being able to place people. You know, it's not like every place will give you a FaceTime tour or, you know, enough. People need to be comfortable, obviously, where they're placing a loved one or where they're going to be going. And it's hard to look at the pictures you see online to have that level of comfort. So I'm sure a FaceTime video could help in the relationships that you have, I'm sure are key in this time.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Mike, because we've been in every single place that we've ever moved anyone into. So we're very familiar with the staff. We're familiar with things that happen. So you're right. It probably does help the families through this time because we are familiar with them as well. It's a good point.
So some places are still taking new admissions. I think there's this idea out there that all the assisted living, nursing homes, facilities like that are on total lockdown. But it sounds like that's not the case.
If you think about it, there's people that are in the hospital that don't have COVID that may have had a heart attack or may have had a stroke or something happen. So we actually need to be able to get those people into a safe environment. So yeah, we are still functioning literally as we always have, except doing remote tours.
How are the families engaging with their loved ones in these situations? I know I did a FaceTime signing with a family at one point. That was interesting. Are we using technology to keep people connected? Exactly.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can to, and I think the communities are doing a fabulous job, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of really fun things that they've done, not just only with the families, but the staff at the community. So here's an example. They have happy hour, okay? And what they're doing is they're opening the doors of each resident's room, and they have a little table in front of them so they can't get out. So they're all sitting in the rooms with the doors open. And then the staff, 6 feet apart, are dancing down the hallway.
Oh, that's good.
And they're bringing a hydration card. And you're trying to keep the seniors excited, the seniors engaged, and keep them hydrated all at the same time. I mean, that's just one small example of a community and how they're trying to keep seniors engaged with each other from a distance.
Right. Funny you mentioned that. So my wife's aunt is in a senior living community down in Georgia. Weather's a little nicer, although today's really nice. But I saw they posted on Facebook, all the families were outside the windows. Like windows are closed, but they're having like happy hour drinks with the same thing where they put the table in front of the window. The parents are out, or the family, kids, whoever are outside in like lawn chairs, and they're kind of just shouting through the window, I guess. But, you know, keeping distance, but keeping engaged at the same time. That's really good.
I love it. I think people are being creative more now than ever before, and it's working.
Yeah. I mean, we're noticing it on our end. I mean, you mentioned that all of your staff's all working at home, the team's at home. We're all at home also, and it's working really well. I hate to say it. I don't know that I'm ever going back in. We'll see, but it's great. And you know, the family's right on the other side of that door, which is good most of the time.
Right, right. Well, one of the things I just want to encourage the families too, if you have a loved one at home, really just continue checking on them, calling them, making sure they have the groceries and food that they need. I just feel like this is a time to really engage with our seniors more than ever before. They're obviously a vulnerable population, and they need love. They need to feel the love. If we write them cards in the mail, whatever it is, to do something special, I think it really means a lot to them right now.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, we've been getting groceries and stuff for our grandma, like, just as much as you can, be helping out, because they're lonely, and they shouldn't go out because they're, more at risk than we are.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
One of the other nursing homes I wanted to tell you about had an iPad and brought it to their loved one, and they were talking through the iPad, and the nurse sat there holding the iPad for the resident for like 6, 7, 8 minutes. I mean,
wow.
That's endearing. Like this,
Sure.
These staff, and I just want to encourage, like our staff are going above and beyond right now to do everything they can for these sweet people so they can see their families. It's really been great.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, tell us about the geographical location that you serve. Are you all southeastern Michigan? Does this change anything for you? I know that your team likes to have personal touch in all facilities, but what do you see the future look like? And tell us about your current geographical reach.
So the majority of our business is in Southeast Michigan, yes. But like you said, things evolve and change, right? So with all of the changes, we've been able to adapt and do a lot online. So because we're familiar with a lot of the places, I actually have confidence we could cover the whole state of Michigan
pretty
easily, right, after going through this.
Sure.
So it just makes you realize how much you truly can accomplish, right? I think we're all a little more efficient now, too, because we're not in the car driving.
Oh.
So we've lost some of the personal touch, but we've gained a lot of efficiencies. And I hope that when we all go back, things have changed a little bit, and we do spend more time being more efficient.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The time for us between offices, just everything is so much more efficient right now. It's kind of a little bit to get used to, because it's just like it's go time all day. And like you jump off of one Zoom meeting and you're right on another one. And what has been really great for us, and you might experience this as well, is you can meet with an entire family all at the same time. Where in the past, where we need family involvement in things, it might take a week or two before we can line up everyone's calendars. I mean, I had a meeting the other day. It was a Medicaid crisis meeting in the morning. There was 6 people on the call. We got a lot accomplished in that meeting, and they needed to gather some more information and think about a couple things. And so I said, when do we want to get back together? And they're like, well, how about like 2 o'clock today? And I'm like, okay, that would never happen ever in a million years. We'd be like 3 weeks out before everyone can get their schedules lined up. So the efficiencies of all of this has just been able to help families so much faster, because everything is right. You can get everyone together. Everyone's available to do these things. It's amazing. I love it.
Well, and Mike, I love how you work closely with the families. So that's a great example of how you can still be involved and engaged, but have that personal touch, because the first meeting could be virtual and the second meeting could be face-to-face.
Sure.
Easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who knows what what meetings will be what in the future, but I definitely see a lot of businesses reevaluating how much office space they need, like who needs to be in the office, all those kinds of things. And I think it actually serves everyone's clients better, everyone's families that they work with, whatever industry you're in. If you can have everyone involved around the table always, I mean, it makes for better everything all around.
I agree, especially for the patients, right?
Hey, Wendy, let's talk about your Pat, you got
and I was just going to say, in your area specifically, Wendy, what would you say if you've got someone or if, you know, anyone who's listening or when they're talking to us, who's either got a parent who maybe it's not an acute situation, they're not in the hospital, but their care needs are increasing and they want to start this process, start getting more information, what would you advise that they do?
Okay, that's a great question, Pat, because right now, I really feel like it's important to keep your loved one at home as long as you possibly can. If it's urgent or critical, like we talked about earlier, we have places that they can move into, but you need to remember they're still in a 14-day quarantine if they come from anywhere else. So I'm urging families right now really to try to stay put as long as you can if they're in their homes. And there are home care companies that many of them are still working and doing an amazing job where we can get people in there to assist you if you need assistance with your loved one. And we also do help connect people with those resources as well. But I do think that's a great question, Pat, that we need to kind of stay status quo as long as we can. And know that when the need arises, we can do it. But let's try to get through this so they don't have to be locked in their room for 14 days in quarantine. It's really hard with a senior. Imagine that with dementia, who's going through a difficult time, who's by themselves in their room now. So the staff can go in and see them, and they get their food and they get all their care, but it's still a challenge. So if we can avoid it at all costs, I would say try to stay status quo as long as possible before making a transition.
That makes complete sense. Hey, Wendy, a question we get all the time from families we work with is, you know, a couple things like, when does it start making sense to have conversations with someone like you? And then also, like, what are the signs that families should be looking out for to say, you know, maybe something's a little off? Like, give us a little bit about that. I think that's great information.
Sure, absolutely. So some of the beginning signs I think are most related to hygiene. So if your parents are alone or your loved ones live alone, just keeping an eye on, you know, are they changing their clothes every day? Are they showering every day? You know, watching their nutrition.
So question on that. So if you're in quarantine and now all of a sudden you're wearing sweatpants more often than you ever did, and you don't shower as often, is that a problem? Or is that just like quarantine life?
I actually had to wash my hair today for this. So
oh, we appreciate that. A little shower. We appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, so we're not talking about quarantine, but that was a good comment.
Okay. All right, good.
So you know, hygiene's a big thing. Obviously, weight loss is a big thing. You're just cracking me up, Mike. That's great. You know, paying bills is actually huge because
that's a good one. Yeah.
You forget who do I owe, what do I owe, how do I get that in the mail, and they just kind of lose track. So I would say those are kind of the signs to look for. If you have a loved one at home, just kind of pay attention to those things for sure.
I've heard, like, always, if they're still driving, like, always do a little quick once around the car to see if maybe, and we shouldn't be driving much right now anyways, but, you know, do a little once around to see if there's any new scrapes, dings. How's driving ability?
So I had a family that one of the sons noticed that mom had a dent on every corner of her car.
Oh, geez.
And so obviously said to the brothers and sisters, hey, FYI, I think mom might be having trouble driving. And all of them were like, really? Why do you say that? And he's like, walk around the car. So we do need to be observant. Good point. And that's a good indication. I think to answer your question about the timing, my personal opinion is the sooner you have a conversation, the better. Because if you wait too long, then I think it's almost more difficult and you end up waiting for a tragic situation to happen and just responding to it instead of being proactive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and as things develop, do you see more like combativeness versus like understanding, or is it all over the place in that?
Yeah, I think there's more combativeness and they stick their feet in because once you have a severe case of anything, it gets harder to be adaptable and change. So they just want to stay home no matter what. If you can get them in that window where they kind of know it's not that safe for them to be home, but they're not really wanting to go somewhere, if you can talk to them during that window and just tell them, let's try this. Keep the house there, but let's just try something short term and see what you think. That would be my best recommendation.
Gotcha. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you for that info.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, you mentioned your foundation when we kind of did the intro and showed the great picture of Wendy and Mike. Can you give us a little bit about the foundation? What's the vision behind that? And yeah, give the listeners some on that.
So I think it's important for everyone to know 60% of seniors do not have visitors.
Oh, wow.
So when you think of all the people that that are in, and there's 200 and 300 people in some of these communities and some of these nursing homes, 60% do not have people coming to visit them.
Wow.
So we've developed through the foundation a program called Care Companions, where we actually have volunteers that are engaging and meeting with seniors. Obviously, at this time, they're just making calls, but normally face to face. And we go to the communities and say, hey, do you have any people that don't have family visiting them? So these Care Companions are volunteers. So that's something we're doing through the foundation. The other thing we're doing is helping low-income seniors who can't afford assisted living and fall through the cracks of being eligible for maybe Medicaid or some other type of assistance. So there's a gap of people that we're trying to hit with the foundation that have some money, but just not enough.
Gotcha.
And we're able to support them financially with some senior scholarships.
Okay.
So that's been a huge benefit as well. So I love what our foundation is doing. Our goal really is to assist physically, support financially, and share spiritually.
Awesome. Love it. If someone wanted to give to that foundation, is there a website or anything? I mean, what's the best way to do it?
I am so thankful you just asked. Yes, Next Steps for Seniors Foundation.org.
Awesome. Okay.
And one of the other things, Mike, that we're doing right now is we are actually bringing food to our low-income housing apartments. So there's senior housing apartments that are 30% of the Social Security. That's what they're paying to live there. These people are on food stamps. Many of them don't have family or family out of state. So we're actually picking up food right now from Forgotten Harvest, and I want to give them a huge plug. And we're bringing it to these senior living communities, these low-income apartment complexes, and just helping them get through, because right now they're getting one meal a day from Meals on Wheels, and that's it. They're not able to use their food stamps unless they personally go to the grocery store. So there's so many issues that are going on for our low-income seniors that people don't even realize.
Yeah, that's great. And it's still going on all right now.
Wow, yeah, with the...
It is. The other thing, this is just another example. So American House has 3 locations that actually packed up their American House vehicles and brought into my parking lot cases of toilet paper, cases of snacks, tissue, and we brought all that to our low-income housing apartments. It's been great. We've had a lot of support.
Amazing. So I know the burning question on all of our listeners' mind right now. Hey, Mike, can you and Pat do a trust that donates all of my assets to Next Steps for Seniors Foundation? And simple answer, yes.
Yeah.
We can help you with that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We would love that help. Any and all.
For sure.
Beautiful. That's great. Yeah.
Now, Wendy, what you were describing right there, is that what you were talking about earlier with Operation Love Drop, or is that something separate as well?
Operation Love Drop is what I was just explaining. Yeah. So we literally are bringing food and items to seniors through our Operation Love Drop. We're also doing individual houses as well. So we had somebody call from California whose mom lives in Michigan, and she was worried about her. So we put together a love drop, and we actually delivered it to her porch, rang the doorbell, walked away. She opened the door and waved, so we knew she was okay.
Oh, wow.
And we were able to call the daughter back and say, hey, Mom is doing well. So that Operation Love Drop has been an awesome blessing. And like I said, we've had a lot of support from local communities like American House.
That's so good. So good. Love to hear it. And I love to see
That's
how it's
fantastic.
grown, because I know I was kind of around when it all started, and I'm like, this is such a good thing, and good vision and good mission. And it's great to see all the community involvement and everyone who helps with this. So hats off to you guys. That's amazing.
And Mike, if any of your team wants to get engaged next Thursday, on Thursdays is when we pick up the Forgotten Harvest and bring it to the seniors. So just a thought.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're continuing with, so we've been doing Meals on Wheels now for about a year. So we're doing that. And yeah, I'm sure we could probably definitely help you guys too. It's nice to get out of the house like once a week.
Right.
just let me out. Just let me out, please.
Right.
So good.
So one of the other things that we're doing is supporting our healthcare heroes. So I just got to tell you the story because it's super cool. So we have these huge hope signs, and we've been putting them in front of hospitals. So if you drive by Ascension, Providence, Rochester, for example, you'll see a big hope sign there. So we put that hope sign up there, the foundation, Next Steps for Seniors Foundation. So there's one there, there's one at McLaren, there's one at Huron Valley Hospital. A lot of the different hospitals in the area, we've been putting them up at, obviously with their permission, but it's pretty cool. People drive by and honk.
That's awesome. And what is that signifying? That tell us about that. So is there anything someone can do or go there, or it's just a hospital you're helping?
I think that people right now, are just getting weary and tired, and we've been going through this for a long time. Our healthcare workers, I'm calling them heroes.
They are heroes.
They've been on the front lines for a long time, and anything we can do to support their efforts and encourage them. So that's why we've been putting the hope signs up, and people are, when they see the sign, they're like, yes, we need to have hope. We need to have hope that we're turning the corner, that we're going to get through this together.
Yep.
And we've been, bringing food and different grocery items and things for the healthcare heroes as well. If you think about it, they're working 12-hour shifts.
Right.
Like your wife is in the industry,
Yep.
working 12-hour shifts, and by the time they get to the grocery store, there are no toilet paper on or whatever you need, right? On the shelves, everything's gone.
Yeah.
So we're doing everything we can to support as many of those healthcare heroes as possible.
That's
but
great.
Just any little small thing that our organization can do. I've been so proud of my team. Like, it's been amazing how much, people are buying TVs for people.
It's so impressive, everything that everyone's doing for the community. I love to see it. You drive by and I think McDonald's or Tim Hortons or something is giving away like free meals. Everyone's doing a little something just to help out. I know, one thing that we got going right now is free powers of attorney for all first line responders. So it's completely free of charge. We work, when you're available, because I know you're working tons of hours. So get in touch with us if that's something that you need in place. And everyone's got their gift that they can help with. And it just seems so amazing, everyone who's stepping up to it as we all go through this together.
And I saw that you were offering 50% savings on some of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And there's been so many people taking advantage of that. As we're all working from home, 50% off all estate planning services. Right now, so many people are thinking about it, and this has been things that they want to get in place. And this just kind of shows, that you need to do this. And so many people have reached out, and it's been amazing. And it's just been great to help out people who are currently in, everyone's kind of in a financially hard spot right now.
And I'll tell you, Mike, just to add one more thing to that, I would say only 30% of the families that call actually have a power of attorney set up.
Oh, wow.
We get so many calls, and you'd be shocked how many people do not have their information set up correctly. So as you know, we send them, a lot of our referrals go to you. So I think it's critical, families. I mean, this is the time, right, Mike? I mean, to get Pat too.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone has found this Zoom, like we're doing all of our meetings through Zoom, FaceTime. Everyone has found it incredibly easy. So much so that I don't know that people are going to want to go back. They're just sitting on their couch having conversations. It's just great stuff.
Well, we appreciate what you guys do every day. Thank you for helping so many people.
Of course, my pleasure. Pat, you got anything else?
No, I'm good. It's pretty apparent you guys used to have a radio show together. I felt like I was a little bit more window dressing this particular episode.
Hey, Wendy, can you give us one more time how someone can get in touch with you if they have questions, if they're in need, they have a family member in need? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Okay, so we have a phone that's answered 24/7 here in the office, and that number is 248-651-5010. And our website is nextsteps4seniors.com. And then we also have the foundation, which is nextsteps4seniorsfoundation.org.
Beautiful. Okay.
Thank you.
Wendy, it was a pleasure having you on as always. I miss doing the radio show together, so we'll have to do this. We'll have to do this more often.
We will definitely, and I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Pat, thanks for sitting in.
Pat, we appreciate you.
You got the next one.
Happy to be here.
All right, everyone, be safe. Be safe.
Right.
Reminder of our what we have going on right now: free healthcare and financial powers of attorney to frontline responders, 50% off all estate planning services. Contact Wendy. I don't know where she is on your screen over there. If you need any of her services or you have questions. So thanks again. Share this with all of your family members or anyone who would benefit from listening to it.
God bless you guys.